Hey crafters, it's me, Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and today I have image 954 for you, and this was from a new release on January 7th, so if you're watching this, the new release is over and these are available in the shop. So I'm going to create a card using her, and I'm just going to do a long drawn out video of all the steps that I do here. And I've already cut my paper because I made a mistake. So this is an 11-inch piece of paper. It was 8.5 by 11, but I cut it down to 5 by 11, and then I gate folded it in the middle. Okay, that I want her to open up like this. So I already went and cut these, realizing that they're not quite exactly the size that I wanted, but it's not really going to matter because, you know, that's our creativity. So I wanted it to be mostly yellow to, you know, offset the little bit of yellow that's on here. And then I have a little bit of purple. I have some other papers that I picked out. So I want to put some purple accents on here to go with the purple there, the lighter color. And I'm not quite sure how I want to do this, but then I want to add some of these music notes across the middle. Actually, that looks kind of cool. So let's go ahead and cut some of this. So if I put that across the middle, that would look really cool. So I'm just creating kind of an idea in my head with what I have before I do a bunch of cutting. And then to ground her, I want to do a little bit of red. So I might just do the red, like maybe across the bottom. And then accent it with the purple. I just want to throw in a little bit of the purple because it doesn't exactly match, but it's enough of a tone that it'll draw that out. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to start out by just gluing this down. And today I am using my quick dry Scotch tacky adhesive. It dries. It's a wet adhesive, so you have a little bit of time before it dries, and I've waited way too long to use this. It's been sitting on my shelf is what I mean. So if you buy it, you should really use it right away. But this stuff, you have a little bit of time before it completely dries, but at the same time it dries really quickly. So it's not like something you have to wait forever for. So what's happening is that I've got some globs on the inside that are affecting my bottle from the glue coming out. I've already squeezed this so hard that this purple thing shot off the end into my garbage can, and I lost half the glue in the bottle. I had to like try to scoop it up and put it all back in. That was crazy. It was funny. But I did get most of it back in, so that's good. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just putting it on here so that there's a little bit of purple on each side. And if your glue doesn't get gloppy like mine, you won't have any bumps or lumps or anything. This glue is like paper magic. I love it. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and just chop that off. Actually, I think I'm going to go this way and figure out about how much I want hanging off the edge there. There. So I'm going to save this piece in case I want a little purple later. So I know that this is going to be about that wide. Yeah. So I'm going to glue down the first part of it. I'll show you what I'm getting at. First I want to do the yellow sheets. And I want a little bit of texture to the yellow, so I'm going to run these through the Cuttlebug. So I did pick kind of a bold pattern, but I have a feeling that a bunch of this is going to get covered up, so I might have to switch to a different glue just because this is not working out for me. I'm going to have to clean out that nozzle, so I'm going to switch from Scotch to Aleene's Tacky, which I just mixed with a little bit of water and I put in this bottle. Works exactly the same way. It's not quite as thick as the Scotch. It doesn't, I don't know, I don't think it dries quite as fast, but it might. I never really timed it. And you still have just a second to move things around before it adheres, which is nice. So I think I might have to do that with the tacky because I don't know, I think I let it sit on the shelf too long. So if I transfer it to a bottle like this, add a little bit of water and shake it up, it probably works just fine. I definitely won't throw it out because it's still usable. So after I get it to the point where I want it, then I just smooth it so that all the glue parts touch, you know, so you get a straight adherence there. And then, like I was talking about before, I am going to glue this on because I want it to look like it ran straight across, but there's a line there about right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue there as I'm lining it up so that when I flip over I know where the glue is going to sit. And then glue it straight down onto here. And I'll show you why I did that in a second. Most of you probably have it figured out. But because this card is going to open up, so I don't want to glue it shut, I'm going to now open this up and flip it over, and I'm going to cut it right on that line. As straight as I can because I want to reuse this piece on the other side, of course. So straight down that side. And then the piece that I just cut off is going to get glued to the other side, so it'll look like I ran it purposely down that side, exactly the way it should go. Now I'm lining it up with the paper here. I'm going to put some glue on this side. And make sure, I always do put a little glue in the middle, but I like to make sure that I get the edges really well. Alright, and then I can take my time lining that up with the other side. So even if I didn't get it on there totally straight, you won't be able to tell, but it'll exactly match the other side. And I'm just giving it a hard push because there are some edges that are a little bit lower because we're going over this bump piece, this edge, and this edge. And I want to make sure they adhere so they don't pop off. And then, instead of wrapping this around and creating more bulk, I'm just going to flip it over and cut this side off. Cool. One thing that I like about that Scotch glue that I just had to set off to the side, it already comes with a teeny tip. Plus, the tip is on this side and this cap is flat, so you can store it upside down like that. So your glue is always on the bottom ready to go. I just wish I had used it before I let it dry up. I must have had that for a really long time. A bottle like that will last you a long time, so I probably did. Alright, she's going to be on one side like that. So I want to ground her with a little bit of red. I think what I'm going to do is just do a little fussy cutting around her. There we go. We see a lot more of the background that way. And I want a little bit of that red on the bottom. Bring in the cutter here and just cut off a little slice here. slice it again. I want a little bit less of the red on that one side, so it's closer to the white. Okay. That works. Let's go ahead and use that same technique for this side. Now that I'm thinking about it, I could have roughed up some of these edges. That would have looked really cool. Alright, so now we've got, I'm trying to decide how I want her on here. Since there's not quite as many notes on this side, but maybe putting her on that side would look kind of cool. And I still want to do something with the whites in the center there. So I thought maybe I would glitter them, but now I'm wondering if maybe I should add a little bit more red in on the top there. Speaking of the red, I think it would look really neat if I put another pop of red at the top, but if I did it with some kind of a border die or a border punch. This is how I keep track of all of my border punching dies and all my punches and things that I have. And so I just grabbed this one and I decided on this one because I want this little bumped border because it won't be too, it won't take over the whole card, you know. And so here's the one that I picked out. So I'm going to try punching it with this and see what happens. That's kind of cool. I think we'll use that. We'll go with it. I'm going to bring my cutter in again. I'm going to cut it very, very close because I don't want it to stick up very far. Just enough to have something to put that glue on. I'm going to run the glue right down the edge. I could do every bump too, but I'm not going to. I think they'll stay down okay. I'm just going to make sure that I'm running it flush with that purple. And add my little line of glue again. And again, we're going over that bumpy stuff, so right on the edges here and here, I really want to make sure that adheres down well and cut off that last piece. That's a fun little addition there. I like that. I'm going to pull out 2 of my markers that I probably used. I can't remember what colors I used. I have them on my computer, but I'm just going to make a quick guess here. That probably I used some kind of a CR and a DR. I make this kind of a light. And then I'll add a dark shadow in it. I got a lot of stuff behind me, so I hate to pull really hard and then all of a sudden knock a whole bunch of stuff down in here. There we go. That was CR10 and DR5. She will look super cute right there. And there's not too much of that purple, so I might want to add maybe purple to the sentiment wherever I decide to put that in. Maybe as a flag. So I'm going to decide on a sentiment and a little bit of something to put on the inside of the card. And then we'll finish it up. I cut a few strips of the leftover paper and I'm just creating a little an inside piece with these little fun embellishments on the side, just so that it matches the front somewhat. So first I'm starting off with just a little bit of purple, and then I use the same punch to do a little bit of yellow, and those are going to go next. I'm going to butt them right up next to the purple. And then, of course, I'll trim the whole thing down so it all goes together nicely, and we'll put this on the inside. And one of the reasons why I did this inner piece on this white here is to bulk up the card some more, because, like I said, the cardstock is not the thickest. I believe it's only 90 pound, and I really, really prefer 110. Now I'll open up the card and show you how that fits in there. Right in the center like that. And the reason why this one doesn't have any red is because I'm going to add some embellishments in red, probably cut out in hearts to match her little heart there. This could very easily be done with ATG tape as well, which is what I usually use, but as long as I've got the glue out, it's good for everything. And she is still going to sit on top like that. And here's a few more scraps from those couple sheets of paper that I had, just to fill in the rest of the inside, decorate it up. I was going to make hearts with the red, but I decided to just cover these panels entirely, since I had enough red left over to do so. So a lot of times I like to know what crafters are thinking and how they put cards together. And typically what I do is I color my image first, and I've decided that from now on I'm going to pull out a paper pack and color my image second, so I can match my image to that paper pack, because that's easier than, like, I colored her and then I had to decide what paper pack I was going to use, you know, to match her, and that proved to be pretty difficult. So I'm going to do that instead. I almost want her on the inside, but I've really bumped her up heavily with foam tape, so I'm going to put her on the outside as I had decided. Okay, she's going to go there. And then I'm going to finish the inside, where I decided to add a little bit of this music paper. So I want that theme to follow through too. So I'm going to kind of put it down the middle here. Oh, I should have lined it up with that. That's okay. I wouldn't have noticed had it not been there. You won't see that from the inside anyway, except for on that side. And now to line it up on the other side, I'm just going to put this paper across the bottom of that one, and then line it up with this one on this side. Just make sure I've got it going the right way. Right across the bottom of this one. Try to straighten it out here. So approximately right there, and it honestly doesn't really matter. Although I think I did this one, I think it goes this way. So let's just flip it over here. So I'm looking at these little numbers. These are upside. That's the upside. Oops. So I'm going to get creative on how I cut this. Because we want it to cut right there. I'm just going to use a craft knife and be very careful not to cut all the way through all the layers. That works. Sometimes you gotta improvise. So now we've got that theme going through the middle on the inside. Cute. And then I have a place to write my sentiment, and I'll probably add a few more touches, like maybe a little glitter or something. But for the most part, this card is done. I hope you guys enjoyed. Check out the new releases. They're in the store today, and I'll see you guys next video.